In this video, I'm going to give you 5 tips to align with your truth and an exercise that will give you further self-insight and awareness and guide you towards more momentum. So the first thing is we've got to work out what is our truth. So if you've been operating in survival mode or you're in rest and recovery mode, you may well be feeling lost. If you've been struggling to get your work done, manage a busy home life, make ends meet, or care for a loved one, you've probably suppressed your feelings just to get through the week. Perhaps you've experienced a loss in some form. Perhaps you've been through a relationship breakdown, or maybe lost a loved one or even a job. You may have experienced a chronic illness yourself, and now life looks and feels completely different. What motivated you before may seem futile. Whatever's been going on, you may be feeling off kilter. And if this resonates with you, work through these 5 tips to align your truth and lead yourself back into balance. Tip number 1. Ease your way into inspiration. Get inspired. Start browsing the internet and look for things that spark an emotional response. You know because you'll be interested and you'll feel it in your body. Take your time. The flatness you might have been feeling could quickly shift into something else. See what makes you feel alive. Tip number 2. Purposeful exploration. Imagine you're in a safe space, floating out in space, and there's nobody else to consider. What do you type into the Google search bar? What do you want to know more about? What are you interested in? What do you want to explore? Tip number 3. Lifting that elephant. When your inspiration is moving, notice any feelings or thought limitations that come up for release, and then use a technique that works for you. You may want to work with a therapist or a coach. You may want to use a guided meditation. You may want to just ground yourself by walking barefoot on the earth. You may want to do more things that you love. If you're looking for a ton of free tools, go and find my YouTube channel. Tip number 4. Who are you to you? Learn to be honest with yourself. Becoming aware of how your thoughts connect with your feelings and physical body. Notice when you feel a certain way. When do you feel closed or resistant? Notice what's going on in your self-talk. Notice when you feel open and positive and hopeful. Notice what's going on in your body and notice what's going on in your self-talk. Once you have the contrast, you know the self-talk and the body position that serves you most. Tip number 5. You want to commit to your truth. You want to commit to finding more joy. When we accept our truth, who we are, what we want, what we think, what we believe, what feels good, we can start to understand that other people's behavior is not about us. And this can help us create a very personalized experience for what feels good, what feels like success, what feels like emotional well-being for us. It's all about understanding who we are and connecting with our own values. So choose activities based on what feels right for you rather than what you may think is right or wrong. And this will lead you down a path towards greater joy. I want to mention something here. The word denial. Denial is a fantastic coping mechanism. This coping mechanism protects us. It serves us very well. We've all been through times of denial, and that's just fine. This coping mechanism often comes up when we're overworked or overwhelmed. We say we haven't got time to prioritize ourselves. We say we can't, or we don't know how, or there's more important things. If we really want to learn how to speak our truth, we want to pay attention not just to our thoughts, but how they connect with our feelings and the physical sensations in our body. By observing when we feel a certain way, as well as how our thoughts are flowing, we gain a deeper understanding of ourselves, both when we're alone and when we're out in the greater world. We even start to understand what's going on inside our own head. Armed with this profound awareness, we can begin creating a mindset and life experience that works for us. one that helps us reach whatever success and well-being means to us. Resist the urge to deny yourself, resist the urge to deny your feelings, and resist the urge to deny your potential to change. Let's expand on these 5 tips to align your truth with a little exercise. Ask yourself now, do you ever feel like there's something inside of you that's holding you back from being your true self? It takes real courage to be honest with ourselves and to accept our truth, even when it's uncomfortable. The first step is wanting to find it. This is a desire to make life meaningful. If you've been feeling flat, if you're unsure the reason you're doing what you're doing, if life feels like you're on an endless hamster wheel, you are probably starting to develop the desire to know what your truth is, to know what feels purposeful for you right now. We don't always have a generic life purpose or a life purpose that's for our entire life. We have right now. So what feels purposeful for you right now? And we have to have the courage to face it and be willing to accept it for what it is, without any judgment or resistance. A great place to start is by recognizing the incongruity between what we say and what we do. Doing this can help us identify any areas where we may want to be working or focusing in order to get closer to our true selves. If you have something that you've been wanting to achieve and you've been talking about it, and you have done nothing to take action towards it, this is a really good focal point. Let's get started. Take a deep breath and just relax for a moment. And think of something that you believe you really, really want to achieve and you haven't yet done so. You know consciously you want it because you say you want it. For some reason, you haven't aligned your behavior to achieve it. You're going to ask yourself these simple questions. Grab a pen and paper, write down the question, write down your answers. Okay, and you may want to revisit this video. Number 1, do I really want to do this? Number 2, how do I know I really want to do this? Number 3, what will change in my life when I achieve this? Number 4, what will I have to start doing and what will I have to stop doing when I achieve this? Number 5, do I want to do this for me, for someone else, or because I think I should? Number 6, what is stopping me from doing this right now? Number 7, when I think about starting on this project, how do I feel and what happens in my self-talk? You may even want to expand this question and just think about starting the project and notice how your body feels. Do you feel loose? Do you feel tight? What happens to your body position? What happens to the pace of your breathing? As you write down your responses, I want you to resist judging them and just put on your curiosity and explore them. Relax and allow the answers to form in your mind. Resist the urge to judge. Otherwise, you're going to get stuck in your conscious mind. Feel inside for that inner knowing. Here are a few ideas to get you flowing. What is stopping you? Prioritization. Something else is perhaps more important. Process or organization. I haven't yet set myself up to make it easy to complete. Uncertainty or lack of familiarity. I haven't done this before and I'm not really sure how to do it. Emotional resistance. I'm scared or embarrassed about the potential outcome. Belief blocked. Do I actually believe I can do this? Or do I believe that I just won't do it? And maybe, is it safer not to do it? Number 6, financial concerns. I don't have enough money to do it now. Or perhaps there's some other reason. So, what are you going to do with the answers? When you ask yourself, do I really want to do this? You might say no, or not really. Then you might say, well, perhaps I can choose not to do this. Circumnavigate all the resistance and put my energies into something I really do want to do. Maybe I can choose to accept that I'm happy with no movement right now. What if I can accept that I don't have to want to do anything? I acknowledge that doing without purpose can be futile, so if I don't want that, do I know what I really do want? If the answer is yes, absolutely I want to do it, then you might ask, what can I do to rearrange my life to ensure that I'm moving towards it every single day? If I choose to prioritize this for myself, I will find joy in doing it every day if I set myself up. How can I do that? If your answer is yes, but I don't have enough time, money, or other resources right now, ask yourself, what am I prioritizing over this? Is it really more important? Is there a way I can do both? If I'm prioritizing something else, can I be more realistic about committing to a start date and time that I can actually achieve? Have I actually set myself up logistically to make this easy for myself? Have I created a workspace? Do I have privacy or space to do it? Am I sleeping well and eating well to support me in finding the energy to do it? Have I asked anyone to help me find the time by supporting me in other areas? Number 4, yes, and I can't find a logical reason why I'm not doing it. So if this is your answer, outside of logic is always an indicator of emotional resistance, a chunky negative emotion blocking your path, or a belief supporting you in your resistance. This can always be addressed with coaching work and breaking down your doing so that it feels comfortable and safe. Next response. Am I doing this for me, for someone else, or because I think I should? If you're doing it for someone else, am I really choosing to do it for somebody else? Or if I thought I was free to choose, would I just not do it? Is there anything in this for me? Can I benefit in any way from doing this? And is this important to me? Can I stop doing this now? What would happen if I didn't do it? Am I okay with that? If your answer is, I have to do this or I should do this, ask yourself, is this just an alarm bell of resistance? Is it time to work on releasing the negative emotional belief that is creating disempowerment here? When I've released that emotion or limiting belief, am I empowered to choose what's right for me? When you ask yourself what's stopping you from doing this, if it's prioritization, ask yourself if you're sure if you really want this. What is the achievement of this thing going to get for you? Does the desire level make it important enough to make time, even a small amount of time today? How can I ask for help to make this happen? If your answer is B, process or organization, say, okay, if I were advising somebody else to get ready for start, what would I suggest they get in place first? Can I do that? Can I do it now? If you're dealing with uncertainty or lack of familiarity, ask yourself, do I know somebody who's done this before? Can I get a guidance framework from them? Who can I ask for help? Is it okay for me to explore this and see how I get on? If your answer involves some level of emotional resistance, ask yourself, is it time for me to do some emotional clearing and how can I do that? If you feel as if you're belief blocked, is it time to know what I really believe about my ability to do this and the impact it will have on my life? How can I start this process? How can I achieve it? Ask yourself if there is any other reason why I would choose not to make this happen. How can I address that and remove the obstacle from my way? These are just 5 short tips and a very small exercise to help you align with your truth. Think of it as a starting point, a place from which you can develop your own truth divining style and approach. If you'd like to work on emotional release or limiting belief release or personal journey coaching with me, please reach out at sarah@sarahmerrin.com.